loves. It is Miss Simpson, and it is time for reading today. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing we did yesterday, except we're doing it with another nonfiction passage. And guess what? Today is going to be a little harder. So yesterday, we are working on putting everything that we know about nonfiction together in one area. So I am going to put all the anchor charts below so that you can use the anchor charts, but we are going to do one together. And guys, the assignment looks exactly the same. It's the same exact paper, but you do have a different article. Your article is going to be over Amelia Earhart, and it is 2 pages long rather than just 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with mine. Remember, the first thing that we do is we search for text features. So I know a lot of my kids I was helping are having trouble with figuring out what are text features. Well, look at this anchor chart right here. It tells you all of the possible text features that you could have. It's right down below to help you. But what you're going to do is you're going to start looking for things that are bolded, are bigger, are pictures, captions, all kinds of things. Automatically, I notice these: microgravity, rise and shine, 3 square meals, a good day in space. Those are called headings. So I would write the text feature I found, headings. And then I'm going to put plural because there were more than one. And then tell how it helps the reader. Well, it tells you on that anchor chart how it helps you, but it's a short phrase that highlights the key point of that paragraph. So that's what I write right here. Okay, so let's look and see if we can find something else. So as I'm looking, I want you to be searching too. Can you see something that I don't see? Let's look on the first page. First things first, I notice this right here, and not even this down here, just this. And I also noticed it on the second page too, right here, right here, right here. Guess what that is? That's a graphic feature, otherwise known as a picture. And pictures help me visualize what's going on. Now, if I look below the picture, there's something that I always say reminds me of Instagram or Facebook if you post a picture, or whatever other social media that you post pictures on. That is called a caption. A caption right there. So a caption, and if you think to social media, a caption is something that tells you what's going on in the picture. All right, so let's see if we can find some more. I'm looking for bolded words. Ooh. Italicized words. Those are words like, and I do see this right here, and it's kind of hard to tell, but on especially this document camera, but that is an italicized word. It's kind of slanted. So that would be like a type of print, but I'm actually going to put italicized. And that tells me it's important, any different type of print. And one thing that I will let you put on there that is not on your nonfiction text feature anchor chart is a title. And there is a title. Life in Space is our title. And it tells us what the article is about before we ever have to read it. Okay, so now we're going to read the article, and we have to find the author's purpose, the central idea, text structure, and we have to write a summary. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, when I'm reading, I'm trying to figure out what is the author's purpose, what is the text structure, what is the main thing it tells me about, and then what are some good key points I should include in my summary. So let's start reading. Living your best life isn't always easy. It takes a lot of work to stay healthy. You have to eat healthy foods, drink lots of water. You must get enough sleep and exercise every day. You also have to keep yourself clean. What if you had to do all of that in space? Okay. Microgravity. So before I ever start, I'm feeling like it's going to tell me stuff about space. Now, I don't really know about the author's purpose just yet, but I feel like maybe the central idea has to do with something in space. Now, this heading, this title tells me that it might be about the life in space, right? Okay, so let's read again. Gravity is a big part of our daily lives. When you jump, your body does not float off into space. Instead, your body comes right back down. When you're walking, gravity is what keeps you on the ground. You may have seen astronauts floating around in space. Many people think that astronauts float in space because there's no gravity in space, but gravity's everywhere in space. It holds the moon in orbit around the Earth, and it also causes Earth to orbit the sun. The gravity in space is called microgravity. This is a small amount of gravity that is not very strong. Microgravity makes people and objects in space seem to be weightless. Astronauts can move and heavy equipment around using only their fingertips. So, I'm thinking about the central idea. Remember, that's our little table. And I'm thinking it has something again to do with space. I feel like our author's purpose, I can go ahead and cross out persuade. I can cross out entertain. I can cross out explain because it's not teaching me anything. I'm kind of stuck between inform and describe still. And for our text structure, it's not talking about two things, just space. So it's not compare and contrast. It's not telling me anything in order or with year, so it's not chronological sequence. So far, there's not been a problem or an event. So I feel like I'm leaning toward description. It's giving me many details about something, but let's keep reading and make sure I'm right. Okay. So, in space, there's no up or down. Astronauts are weightless in space. This is why they can sleep horizontally, laying down, vertically standing up, or even upside down. On the International Space Station, ISS, astronauts sleep in sleeping bags that are attached to a wall. Each person has a small cabin just big enough for one person to sleep. After a restful 8 hours, it's time to take on a new day. Each astronaut has his or her own special kit. This includes the items needed to keep themselves clean and healthy. Astronauts use special toothpaste that can be swallowed instead of spit out. They don't use a faucet and sink. Instead, water is kept in drink bags with straws. The water comes out in beads and sticks to the toothbrush. In space, there's no actual shower. If there were, the water would float around in blobs. NASA astronaut Karen Nyberg explains how she washes her hair in space. What I like to do is start by putting some hot water, squirting it onto my scalp. Sometimes the water gets away from you and you try to catch it as much as you can. Then I just work the water up through the ends of my hair. She uses special shampoo that does not need to be rinsed out. Nyberg combs it through her hair. Then she uses a towel to work the shampoo in and get the dirt out. Okay, so now it's telling me how to basically stay clean. This one told me about the microgravity, right? In space. This one told me how to basically get ready for the day. And let's see what this one tells me. 3 square meals. Nutritionists make sure astronauts have healthy food to eat. Nuts and fruits can be eaten like normal. Other meals like spaghetti or beef stew must be specially prepared and packaged. There's no refrigerator, so food must be dehydrated or freeze-dried. Astronauts then add cold or hot water to the food. They can also enjoy extras like ketchup and mustard, salt and pepper are in liquid form. Ew. This is also so the particles don't float away. Even tiny floating particles can cause problems on the space station. So I'm going to say this talks about the food. It's mainly freeze-dried or dehydrated. Okay, let's read our last one. I'm noticing with my text structure that I don't have a problem and I don't have an event. I'm just being given many details about one thing. So I'm thinking our text structure is going to be description. And honestly, I'm moving towards inform for our author's purpose. It's not using sensory details. It's not saying, ooh, that ooey gooey brownie was so chocolatey, I just couldn't resist it, and I ate it in 2.5 seconds, and blah, 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 blah. It's not really describing anything to me like that. To me, it's informing me about life in space, right? We'll see. Let's read our last paragraph, and then we'll go ahead and fill out our paper. So, an astronaut's day on board the International Space Station is carefully planned. The space laboratory is the size of a football field. It has 6 rooms where astronauts live and work. The 6 crew members spend their days doing science experiments in the lab. They also work daily to keep the ISS in top shape. Astronauts do have time for themselves, too. Exercise is a must to make sure astronauts don't lose too much muscle. They work out using a special treadmill, exercise bike, and weightlifting machine. When they need a break, astronauts can read, listen to music, or enjoy the view of Earth from space. The ISS orbits the Earth 15 and a half times per day. Astronauts can watch a sunrise or sunset every 92 minutes from the Window Observatory. From Earth, the ISS can be seen in the night sky as a slow-moving bright white dot. Whew! So they have a planned day. They have a planned out day with free time and exercise. Okay, so I have probably confirmed my suspicions. I'm going to start. I've confirmed it. I think it's to inform. I think it's informing me. Don't you guys think? I think it's informing me about life in space. I know this is a really important part. Explain how you know. Now, I know this because it gave me a lot of facts about life in space, didn't it? Man, I keep messing up. About life in space. It gave me a ton of things about it. So that's kind of what makes me think, because normally informing is giving me facts or new information, and that's what that just did. Okay, what is the central idea? I can almost always get the central idea from the title. If the title is life in space, what's the central idea? Probably life in space, right? So honestly, my central idea is going to be how life in space works. Okay, that's what I would say. You could have just said life in space. I decided to make it a little bit different. Now, as I was reading, I told you about the text structure of this and what I thought it was. Again, there weren't 2 things it was talking about. There was nothing in order. There were no years. There was no problem and nothing needed to be solved. And there wasn't an event and something that happened after the event. So I'm going to go with description because it gives me details about astronauts and life in space. So what's the text structure? First, we'll start off with that. So it's description. And remember, all of these anchor charts I'm using are going to be down below, so use those to fill out your questions. So it is description because it gave me details about life in space. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I really got that off of here. Details about something, and I just said details about life in space. Filled that in. And finally, one of the hardest things you guys are struggling with is your summaries. Guys, your summary is just telling me what you read. So what I would do with your summary, let me show you the hand again. Here it is. I would start off with a who or what. Who, what, where, when. So I would start off with astronauts have different ways of, I'm going to say living in space. I told you what the article was about, astronauts, and I told you what they do in the article, living in space. Our whole title is life in space. Now, here's the part everybody is struggling with. Go to each heading, microgravity, and tell me a little bit about it. So microgravity, I would say space has microgravity. And so let me look a little bit more. Has microgravity, which isn't as strong as gravity on Earth. Now, as I was going through here, I wrote these little blurbs, and I can use those to help with my summary. So right here, I needed to make sure to put something about microgravity. Now I'm going to move on to this heading. Get ready for the day is what I said. So I'm going to say astronauts. I'm going to say, look, special kit. They have a special kit. Okay. Astronauts get ready for their day using a special kit. And one thing I don't want to forget is this funny story of this lady telling us about her shampoo, her special shampoo, using her special kit and special shampoo. Okay, now let's write a sentence about this one. Okay, they eat 3 square meals. Notice I use the heading title. They use 3 square meals of mainly, and I'm going to use my little blurb, freeze-dried and dehydrated food. Now, your summary is going to be longer for this one because your article is longer. So take that into account. Okay, freeze-dried and dehydrated food. I've got one more heading to do. So remember, one sentence for every heading. And I said they have a planned out day with free time and exercise. So I'm going to say they plan out their day with plenty of exercise and free time. It's just one statement, one sentence about that one section. And then by the time you do one for every section, you've got this big long paragraph, and it tells you about the whole entire about the whole entire article. Okay, so for your assignment today, after Life in Space, you're going to read about Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart, and you're going to use the anchor charts below to fill out, wherever I put it, to fill out some more of these. So you're going to have one more of these, the same as yesterday. Read Amelia Earhart and fill that out. Use the anchor charts below to help you. All right, my friends, I love y'all so much. I hope that you have a great day. I will be on help time, but I expect my people that got on yesterday to know a little bit more today when they come in, because you should get the hang of it. All right, guys, I love y'all so much. Have a great day.